Hi, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode with myself, Oliver Hill, here to help you become a better version of yourself today. And yes, catchy new little intro that we've got going there. And today I wanted to talk to you about something that it's it's interesting for me because it's linked to the work that I'm currently doing. But it's something that now I'm kind of long in the tooth. It really doesn't affect me too much from a personal point of view, but also just made me think. And this is what happens to me a lot. Something will happen during my day and what have you, and it will get my mind turning over as to what's potentially going on. Now, I've got about 4 or 5 prospects, for want of a better word, that I'm talking with. And I know we're in this usual situation because I know they're going to end up working with me, and I know that what I'm going to do is going to help them a lot. But it's also taken quite a long time. And it's just interesting to me to think about this question. What things that you know you should do are you putting off? And I'm pretty confident that anybody listening to this is going to be able to find a few things, if not a lot of things, that they're not doing. And often it's because it's potentially beneficial to them directly. And I don't know if sometimes it feels maybe a little bit selfish, or maybe it feels like it's something that can wait. But if you've watched my recent episode on my own where I'm potentially dealing with some stress levels, anxiety and things like that, I think it's made my mind focus on what we need to do to make ourselves feel better, feel well, to not put ourselves under undue stress, to not carry around a burden of anything for too long. And that's been a large part of what I've talked about ever since I've run this business, but I think it's really ramped up in the recent weeks when I've, for want of a better word, had sort of a basic diagnosis of anxiety and really began to realise, all the things that I'm doing that are potentially contributing towards stress, but then I want to notice it in other people. So the purpose of this episode really is to just make you sit there and think, what is it that if I had the time, potentially I suppose if I had the money, it's a more difficult conversation, but if I had the time, what sort of 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 things would I be doing right now that I'm not? Or perhaps put another way, what things would I love to be consistently, habitually doing that I'm not already? And I think that would be a really healthy exercise to just go through that process. So what I'm asking you to do here really is, certainly if you're sitting at your desk or anything along those lines, pause the episode and just have a think for a few minutes is potentially all it will take. And just think of those things that you wish you'd been doing now. Now that could be something as small as looking into the holiday that you're intending to book. It could be putting in the request for leave for the holiday that you're intending to book. Just by actually taking that action, whichever one needs to be done first, we'll just jump that up the priority list. But we're all incredibly good at putting that off and putting that off and putting that off, and then it becoming a stress because, I don't know, maybe we can't get the leave that we want to book. Or if we've already booked the leave, maybe we aren't going to get the holiday deal that we want to get. Now, I appreciate there's some people who do the whole lastminute.com thing, and that's fine. So that might not be the best example. But you can see what I'm angling at. Are there things right now that you know you should be doing that you're not? And I'm not necessarily talking about procrastination here. I'm not talking about just thinking about it and not being sure what to do. I'm actually talking about things that you know would make a difference, but you haven't initiated. You haven't started them yet. You've put them off for no other reason than there's other priorities there. There's potentially other priorities of other people. There's other demands on you from other people that mean you're not looking out for yourself. Because this is what this is about, really. I suppose, for want of a better word, it's about being selfish. And it's something that I have often talked to my clients about, being more selfish, having a bit more me time and all these sorts of things. But as I said, I've already touched on it a few times, and I feel this might be a theme that runs in a few episodes for me for the next period of time. I'm just so much more aware of it now that I'm really encouraging people to sit down, think about it. Like I say, I've asked you to pause the episode at some point. And certainly if you're not able to pause it because you're listening to it in the car or what have you, to maybe revisit it and just do that first exercise. What 3, 4, 5 things could I be doing, or should I be doing, or do I wish I was doing that I'm not? So then the second exercise linked to that, so there is a purpose to it, because I don't like these ideas where you create a problem and don't offer any form of solution. So of that list you've now got in front of you, or that you're going to have in front of you in the near future, what one single action could you do to make that nearer happening right now? There will be something you can do on every single thing on that list that you've got in front of you now. There will be something that you can do. The smallest of small actions. For example, going back to the holiday, if you haven't booked the leave, book the leave. If you're unable to book the leave because you need to speak to other people, send a text message, a message to the other people to get some dates. Just start that ball rolling. Maybe give those people that need to make up their minds a bit of a deadline as to when they're going to do it. But do one thing that moves you towards that eventuality, that thing you wish to be doing. Perhaps there's some piece of equipment you need to purchase for something that you need to start. Do it. Do it now. Why are you putting it off? Obviously, disclaimer, as I said earlier, costs can come into that, and that's understandable. But if there is something that you're needing to build up to and save to, fine. Start putting £1 a day away. £10 a day if you can. £20 a day. Start the saving. Start setting up the standing order in your bank account, whatever it is you choose to do. Do it now. Don't put it off. Don't think about it. Do it now. If you were hoping that you were going to start listening to podcasts or reading books, if you haven't got the book already, order it now. This is what I'm talking about. There are things that you can be doing right now that are going to help you start helping yourself, start being a little bit more selfish, but it's not actually going to have an impact on other people. And in fact, if you start being a bit pushy about something, you might even be helping other people because they wanted to do the things that you have wanted to start as well with you, for going back to the holiday analogy. If it involves other people, take the lead. Give people the help. One of the things that clients of mine find particularly invaluable is the ability to point them in a direction, to get them started. So if you're able to do that for other people, no matter how small it might be, then that's going to be really, really powerful. I'll give you a perfect example in my personal life. In golf, we have one guy who is basically responsible for booking our tee times. We play quite regularly, but the tee times we want to do are fairly competitive, shall we say, for other people. And he is the man. And if it wasn't down to Mike, there's no way we'd be playing as much golf, certainly not in the times that we want to. So those people can become integral. Now, he'll always put his hand up if there's going to be a time when he can't do that. He'll reach out and he'll say, I need you guys to be online to book we call it BRS, the booking system, and we'll do that. We'll step in, and you could be that person. So if you're involved in something that needs a group of other people, why not be the lead? Why not be the person that everybody looks to and is very pleased with for doing that thing? So it's about reframing how we think about stuff. It's about reframing how we prioritize things as well, because it's so easy, and I've definitely been guilty of this, and I know clients of mine are often guilty of it when they come to me, less so when they've started and finishing working with me, because you realise that it's so detrimental to let these things slide. And it's with what's happened to myself, I've realised I have gone a long way off the path that I would like to see myself and certainly my clients going down. I often use coin the phrase of "do as I say, not as I do" in coaching sessions, which is appalling. However, I think I've mentioned before, I'm very good at seeing what other people need to do. I am very good at seeing what I need to do, but I'm also quite good at not listening to my own advice, skills, and expertise. But something I'm obviously looking to really, really challenge. And you'll see I'm not using words like try. I'm not trying. I am either doing it or I'm not doing it. It's really that simple. And it's the same with this. If you are listening to this and resonating, you can either do that list or not do it. There is no do it later, or I'll try about that, or I'll come back to it. Either do it now or don't bother. And the same with then the list. If you've done the list, brilliant. If you're going to then work at it, do something against each one of those things that's on the list now. Don't wait, do it now, because nothing will take a huge amount of time to get it done, because we're not talking about a start to finish. So for example, if it's, writing a CV, I am not saying you need to start everything you're doing and write a CV. I am saying open a document, give it a title, and write the first line on that CV. You've started that process. If it's a job application, same principle, download it, start filling in some of the information. Just do something. Doesn't even need to take more than 5 minutes, but you can find 5 minutes. Do it now, and stop being, start being more selfish. And in actual fact, you'll realize you're not being selfish at all. You're being helpful. This is going to work out better for you. So I hope that has proved useful to you. As always, I am here for one reason and one reason only, to help you become a better version of yourself today. That's something I'm going to continue doing. And if you want to reach out to me, you know where I am. You can contact me via my website or on LinkedIn. And if you have my contact details already, then of course just reach out to me directly. But like I say, I hope that's been useful. And I'm always interested to hear how people have taken these episodes. So I look forward to hearing from you. And I certainly look forward to delivering the next episode next week.